firstly, I wanted to just congratulate you, because we were sat here this time last year talking about Night Terrors, and we were kind of just diving into that as an event and talking about where that was going. And it's been an incredible year for you, not just with that event, but Green Arrow, Superman, everything else that you've been doing. How, when you kind of look back over the past 12 months and all these incredible stories that you've written, whilst masterminding, you know, this absolute and all in and everything at the same time, how does it feel? Does it feel, I mean, to me, that's like a fanboy's dream.
Oh, I try to have I'm very tired. That is the answer to your question. I'm very tired and exhausted. I definitely was feeling burnt out about this last year, but no. I mean, I do have those moments of taking a step back and having that kind of grounded point of view of, like, you know, the little kid version of me, right? Or the version of me in high school that loved comics, the version in college, even 5 years ago, 10 years ago, you know, it's like, I would definitely, I have those moments of like, oh, how lucky I am. Yeah. You know, how great this is to be in these positions and to have these conversations and be able to talk, you know, to be in the room. I mean, that's really it. Like, a lot of times I'm in the room discussing plans for these characters and for DC Comics going out years, and having an actual say in that room, and actually have I definitely feel like I'm a trusted voice in that room, you know? And so even though part of that's because I'm just loud, so, you know, and nosy, and I can't help myself. Even if I try to be quiet, it's not going to happen. It will erupt. I think it's been great. It's been awesome. Yeah.
So I wanted to touch on Green Arrow, because I've absolutely adored every single issue of Green Arrow, and seeing Oliver Queen come.
Left with me.
Yes, well, exactly. Yeah, seeing Oliver come back to this really central point in the DCU, and I feel like that book has really been quite instrumental in getting us into Absolute Power. You know, seeing what Waller has been doing in the background. Bringing that character back, what has that meant to you? How has that journey been?
Well, you know, I'd wanted to write Green Arrow my whole life. You know,
really?
I was a little kid. That was the one. He was the one, and for a long time he was the one that got away, because anytime I was pitching stuff, I would always pitch Green Arrow stuff. Even when I was on Flash, because the Green Arrow show and the Flash show were so tight, I would ask, can I use Green Arrow? Can I use Green Arrow? Me and Ben Percy at the time, when he was writing Green Arrow, we would talk about crossovers. We could never make it happen. When I was doing Justice League vs. Suicide Squad, I asked if Green Arrow could be in it. No. Every time I tried to read Green Arrow, I couldn't. The first time I actually really got to write Green Arrow, like actually got to write him, was in Justice League 75 when I killed him. And that's why that story is kind of told from his point of view. Like, you see him, he's sort of the one that has most of the little lines. That's why he has the big moment where he stops Parai, he buys them time, but then he's the one that gets killed. And it's like, but after I killed him, I was like, well, this is somebody else's problem. I'm like, I'm bummed. This is somebody else's problem. And then as we started talking about post-Dark Crisis, it was like, well, what do we do about Ollie? And I was like, well, I can do one panel in issue 7 where he comes back, and it's a big moment, but that's not enough. And I was like, can I have a one-shot? He comes back, reunite with the family, this whole thing, and then that one-shot became a mini-series. And they were like, you're a miniseries. And I'm like, well, now I'm a miniseries. Now I'm getting the family back together. That's what he called a reunion. It was really, to me, it was like, okay, I got to bring Leanne back. I got to do all this. I really was like, okay, how do I get Roy here? How do I get Connor here? How do I get Mia? Like, I was like, okay. Now I felt like this book was, in some ways, it was about my fandom coming to life, but also correcting things or going back and sort of putting this thing back together that I feel like had been broken. I mean, I always feel like that's part of the story with DC, though. Sometimes it's like you want things to break, so you put them back together. It's an ebb and flow of the company in general, you know. But I felt like it had been a bit with Ollie. He had never, because even the Batman family will break up, come together, come together, you know. And it's like I felt like it had been broken for too long, and I was like, no, I want to get them back together. So that was really my priority with it. But it's been awesome, and it was like, even leaving that book was rough. At one point I thought about leaving at 12, because 12 was really like them on the beach and them happy. But I was like, I built this subplot with Waller, I have to pay it off, so I have to finish that. And then I felt responsible for it because of the connections. I was like, that. But I have that, plus I have the annual. And the annual really is my big goodbye, and that is my, like, saying goodbye to that character and really, you know, wrapping up everything that I wanted to say about him. And it's much more about him, because the family, I feel like I've done it, and there'll be family stuff. But I felt like by the time I got to that, I was like, that issue is much more about him and my love of him. Yeah.
Amazing. I'm getting the signal that we need to wrap up. So thank you very much for your time. Enjoy the rest of your con.
Yeah, thank you for having me again.
Thank you. Thanks for watching, Super Friends. If you enjoyed this video, then make sure to hit the subscribe button just down below and hit the bell so that you can get notified whenever we release brand new videos. In fact, there's 2 more waiting for you to watch right here below. So what are you waiting for? Why not click play?